Hey guys, Bridget here. In this video we're going to talk about a very juicy topic, and that is Figma keyboard shortcuts. Now these are going to enable you to work way faster and way more efficient, and in my personal opinion, when you actually master the keyboard shortcuts of a design tool, it's just going to become much more fluent and easy to get from point A to point B, and it's just going to be really enjoyable to work in that specific software. In fact, I remember whenever I switched from one design software to another, one of the biggest struggles was actually relearning the keyboard shortcuts, because it seems like a small thing, it seems like an obvious thing, but once you master, it becomes second nature and you just move way easier in the design tool. So without further ado, let's jump right into Figma, and I'm going to show you some of the top keyboard shortcuts which I use almost on a daily basis. And let's get started with the very first one, which is of course the pen tool. So we're going to move really fast on some of these because I don't want to keep it like really like too long. But the very first one is the pen tool, and simply click P in order to access the keyboard shortcut. And by the way, this is an extract of a post that I recently launched on Instagram, so feel free to check it out if you're interested in Instagram. And let's go on and let's move to the V, which is essentially the move tool. But as you can see, as I'm using V, it's not really changing anything because we're already in that part. Now, the move tool essentially is this one right here, so the basic cursor. And let's move on to the very next one, which is the text. So if I click on T, I can simply use the text tool. So again, like very fast, very easy keyboard shortcuts. Now this one is one which I use all the time, and that is the color picker. And I cannot tell you like how much better of an experience is using the keyboard shortcut. I actually use Command plus C even more often, since you have two options for the color picker. But instead of actually selecting an element, then going under fill and then clicking on the color picker, like you can already see that you just free interactions are gone like that, meaning that you can just save a lot of time in that regards. The other one is the scale tool, which again we're going to use this pencil from Blam 3D illustrations. And as we use K, you can see that I can easily resize up and down this illustration. Now another one which you're going to use all the time is the rectangle tool. So R for rectangle and O for the ellipses. So all of these basic shapes and elements you're pretty much going to use all the time. And by the way, just before we continue, I want to remind you that if you actually go under the help and resources on the bottom right, you're going to be able to see this keyboard shortcut element. If you click on it, you're going to see all of the keyboard shortcuts that are going to be available in Figma. And the really cool thing is that the ones highlighted in blue is the ones that you used. So for example, all of these, as you can see, I'm using them like pretty much on a regular basis. So this indicates all of the keyboard shortcuts and the usage. So brief parentheses apart, let's move on with the next ones, which is comment. Comment is another one which you're going to use all the time. If you want to leave a comment right here on Figma, simply click on C. Then we have Control C and Control V to paste. Another one which you're going to use, Control C, and in my case, since I'm on a Mac, it's going to be Command C and Command V. I can easily copy and paste an object. I can also duplicate a selection. So for example, if I duplicate this by using Shift plus Option, then I use Command D, you can see that I can literally duplicate that selection throughout. Now rename selection, this is another one which you're going to use pretty often. So Command plus R. And as you can see, the layers panel is now highlighted, and I can rename this, for example, to pencil. Click on enter, and there we go. Now let's move on to another one, which I highly recommend you to remember, because this is going to, again, save quite a bit of time. So say that we're creating an element with a crazy gradient, or any sorts of like properties in particular, and I'm just going to make it like this. Then we're going to add an effect, which is going to be a big blur. Let's make it really light. Now let's say that I create another element and I want to quickly copy and paste the style of that element. Simply use Option Command C and Option Command V, and you can copy the style with this keyboard shortcut. So really useful, really handy, and something that I use pretty much all the time. Now another one is Shift R for show and hide rulers. So this again are really useful, can enable you to work with rulers really fast. Then we have the deep select, which essentially, again, it's another one which I highly recommend you to check out, because it enables you to deep select within groups. So simply hold the command as you hover over an element, and as you can see on the left, you're going to see which of the layers are selected instead of selecting the entire group. So you can deep select individual elements in a very fast and efficient way by using this keyboard shortcut. Now another one which you're going to use often, flip horizontal and flip vertical. So for example, if we select the pencil again, use Shift H, you can see how now it's flipping. Now I have a duplicate of this pencil, so you can see using Shift V, I can flip it vertically. In Shift H, I can flip it horizontally. So really useful and really quick. Now another one which you're going to use pretty much quite often is the frame tool. So simply click on F and you're going to have the frame tool. Then select all. This is common in so many software these days. The Control A enables you to select everything on the entire Figma canvas. So again, another one which is quite useful. We have Shift, Control and K. So the moment I do this, I'm going to go in the desktop by default, but I can select any image and simply paste it directly here. So I'm going to paste the thumbnail that I had yesterday, and as you can see, I can easily just do that in a single click. Add auto layout. Well, if say we're creating an element and we're adding some text, just button, and let's make this text black. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger using K shortcut. Then I select both, and then I use Shift plus A, and boom, it's an auto layout element. Very fast, very quick, and efficient. Again, pick color is essentially the keyboard shortcut which I showed you before. So Control plus C, and you're going to be able to pick color. Duplicate selection. Well, this one, pretty straightforward. It's you use Command plus D and it duplicates automatically. So instead of copying and pasting the selection, which still works, still going to duplicate the selection in the same way, you can simply use Command D and basically do the same in one single keyboard in one single shortcut. So that's that. Then we have the slice tool right here with the S. Then select none. So basically, once you selected something, simply click on Ask and you can deselect it essentially. And then we have the line tool, which again, what are this UI design these days without some lines here and there. So this is pretty much it when it comes to the Figma shortcuts from a high level. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I want to remind you that I recently launched a free course on how to get started in UI UX design. So if you're interested in this topic, feel free to click the link in the description. And on my channel, I have over 500 free videos sharing my over decade of experience in UI UX design. So feel free to check it out if you're interested in more of these topics, and I'll see you in the next video.